Hello, hello, hello. This is Oluchi from the Curvy Cauldron. And today we are doing our second installment of This Week at the Curvy Cauldron. So, this week at the Curvy Cauldron, what are we going to talk about? Oh, I'm going to do a What's in My Bag segment. So, let's get to it. So, I have my work bag. My work bag. It is the Polene bag. It's one of the bigger bags on their website, and I got this in 2022, either 2021 or 2022. I've been with it for a while. Like, I've stuck to it. If it's not broken, why change it? That's really my thing. But yeah, Pauline. Okay, let's go into the bag. Let's see what's in my bag. Okay. The first one is a book that I'm currently reading. It is called My Father's Daughter by Onyeka Onwenu. And she's a Nigerian singer that passed away sometime last year. And she wasn't just a singer. I mean, she was a cultural icon. Every household had Onyeka Onwenu's song playing. And she was a journalist. She's done so many things. She is a very accomplished woman. And she wrote this book. When did she write the book? Let's see. I think sometime last year was when this book came out. So I finally got a copy for myself on Amazon. And this little flag is just something I use to distinguish where I am at the book. So I've read up to here. Yeah, I have it in my work bag sometimes, and then sometimes I take it out of my work bag. But I usually just have it in my bag if I'm having a slow week at work. That way, when I go to break, I can just take it out and read it for some minutes and then put it back in. And then we go to the second item. Oh my God, I'm unloading my bag. A little purse. Here I just have cash, wallet, all those things in here. Cleansing cloth, for when you need to go to the bathroom and you need to freshen up. This. I really don't like this. I got it somewhere in Mexico when I went to Oaxaca. And it's one of those card holders that you need to break in. And this is just so stiff. It chafed a lot of my cards. So I took them all out because I was hoping to switch from this to this. So I just switched, took them all out and put them back in where they're used to being in. But this one I haven't really broken in yet because it's so tough. TUFF, so tough. Yeah. Let's see what else. Normally I have my phone in my bag, but since I'm at home, it's not gonna be in my bag. This icebreakers for when I need to freshen my breath. And also I've been chewing on it a little bit more, doing a little bit more than freshening my breath with it, because for some reason I thought it will help with the allergies, like the mint will help me with the allergies. You know how you inhale that mint smell and it just sends a message to your airways. It doesn't help. And it's been a really bad allergy season. I normally don't get allergies. I thought it was just an American people thing. I mean, I had some people in my family in Nigeria that got allergies, but it was just a damn thing. I did not think it was something that would ever affect me. But I think something happened. I think COVID messed up my immune system to the point that now I get allergies. It was really bad. I'm pretty sure I sneezed out a tiny drop of brain cells last week. I just kept sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. Finally, today I went out and I got Claritin and also got a nasal spray. As you can see, that helped. Yesterday, I went to a flower arrangement event and I took a picture with somebody. And when I looked at the picture, you could see the tiredness of just like the sneezing, and you can see that it took a toll on my face. So I look so much better today, thank God. Ibuprofen. I usually don't take a lot of ibuprofen, but for the first day of my period, especially if the first day of my period happens at work, it's very helpful to just take it and know that I can function like a human being again. And I also take it if I don't get a lot of headaches, but sometimes if I get headache and I'm not at home where I can just lay down and just take a nap and it will go away, I'll take ibuprofen. But yes, ibuprofen. And it's such a strong NSAID. It really is. It works. I have some Band-Aids just in case. Coins. This is where I put all the change I get, and also some of the quarters. That way, if I park at somewhere that has a meter, I can just pay. I still haven't subscribed to the meter app that my city has. So yeah, I carry this everywhere with me. That way I can just, if I park near a meter, I can just open it and pay. Let's see what else is in my bag. My Fenty lip gloss, it really helps. I have a couple of them. I keep one at home. I keep one in my bag. That way, if I'm at work and maybe I just ate or I drank coffee, I noticed that I don't drink strong coffee. I'm usually like a latte person, but I noticed that anything that has coffee in it or caffeine in it tends to give me dry lips. So I carry this, and not just for the caffeine. I just like to have that supple, sumptuous lips that's not cracked all the time. So yes, this, and also the weather. And also I carry floss in my bag just so that if I eat something at work, like when I carry my lunch to work and I eat, if something is stuck up in there and I can't get it out, I'll just go to the bathroom, take out the floss, and let it do its job, right? And then I also carry this Juvia Place lip lip liner. I don't use it that much at work, but the only time I use it is if I do like a lipstick and do a lip liner with my lipstick, and it's time to, and I eat and it rubs off and all that, and then I need to redo it in the bathroom, then I whip this out. Okay. Woo! And my book. I don't know. Ever since I published, I've just been carrying my book around. I ordered 2 author copies, right? So I keep one at home, and then I just carry one in my bag. I don't know. It's just a good luck charm, I guess. I just carry it. It brings me joy in the midst of all the, annoying, horrible things that have happened this past couple days. There's just something about looking at it and just smiling. I don't know. I just don't know. But yes, I carry it. I carry Tasteful Hypocrisy. Yes. I carry it. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, ladies snare, gentlemen snare, this is my bag snare. Nothing is in it anymore. But yes, that is all that I have in my bag. Okay, let me repack it actually. You know what? I'll repack it later. Okay, today we're doing the whole this week at the Curvy Cauldron, right? I'm going to talk about a bad habit I have that started a lot when I was a lot younger, and it was just part of my upbringing, and I still continue with it to this day. And I saw it today in full force. But anyways, I went grocery shopping today, right? And I bought cotton buds. I bought cotton buds. And don't mind this. This is just like a candle thing that finished, and I cleaned it up and I use it to store my cotton buds. But anyways, I'm one of those people that have been looking and trying to stop certain habits, because when you know better, you do better. But I came across a video saying that this is not good for cleaning your ears because it pushes the wax in, that you should use like an ear, something like an ear spoon. There's this special device that they sell now that you can buy and use to clean your ears. And then there's also like the solution that you can spritz in there and use to clean your ears. I don't know. I understand that those things are what, the thing that you're supposed to do. But the part of it just freaks me out. And this is the safe choice for me. And I'm so hooked and I really want to do better. But anyways, one thing I found with these though is I was going God, we really find ways to just stick to our own comfort zone, huh? But anyways, I was going through a comment section and someone said, you can still use this, but just make sure you clean outside. Like, don't push in and try to, clean there like you're trying to clean all the darkness out. No, just outside and just clean on the outside. So that's what I've been trying to do. But today I bought it, I put it in my cart, I paid for it, and then when I came out, I looked at it and I looked at myself and I just said, God, you have to do better. And I came in and I put it in here and I covered it and I still looked at myself again and said, I have to do better. So we'll see. But right now I'm trying to train myself to no longer dig in like I used to. God, I used to dig in and just go, where it's sweeting you and you just go. But now I try to stick to the outside area and just clean. Again, this is not medical advice. Please consult your doctor. Don't say, Oluchi at the Curvy Cauldron said, now buy this and clean your ear. Please consult your doctor, okay? Okay, so another thing that I want to talk about is the history of signatures. I'll find the name of the drama, I promise. I was watching a Korean drama a couple months back. I had to drop the drama because I was no longer interested. But a couple months back, I was watching this drama, and sometimes when they tried to notarize a document, right, they used their thumbprint to print it, right? And then sometimes they forced people to put their thumbprint on there. But even though sometimes it's the lines are so tiny, how do you really say, that is this person's thumbprint? Especially when we don't have all the things we have these days to identify thumbprints, right? And another thing too that I saw in that drama was when they tried to notarize another document and then they took that person's hand, put it on the paper, and then traced it like we did in primary school. I was shocked. Now I don't know if they made that up for the purposes of the drama, but that got me thinking, I need someone to recommend me a book of signatures. Not just signatures, people signing their signatures. No, how signatures have evolved through time. I am very interested in that. Also, another thing I'm interested in, since I am a new author, right, is fellow authors, what do you do? How do you use your government signature, like your actual signature that you use on checks and official documents? Do you sign that as your, when you sign a book for somebody? Do you sign that as your autograph? I don't think so, so I'm trying to come up with an autograph that is me. But that also got me thinking, what do you guys do? Please leave your comments in the comments. I'd like to know. But yeah, please, if you have any book that talks about the history of signatures and how they have evolved through time, I am your lady. You are not my man, but I am your lady. Please, 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 please. I am your goddess now. Send me the book or the book link or whatever, or tell me about the article. I will go hunt for it. Because now I want to know. Because what were our forefathers doing? And also, when you think of, African countries, do we just do a my word is my bond thing? Like, what exactly were we doing? And how did different countries in different continents do it? I'm very interested in this, okay? What else are we going to talk about? I have one thing to talk about. So, the final thing we're going to talk about is terroir and taste. Okay, I used to think that terroir only applied to things like wine or whiskey or certain alcoholic drinks. But moving from Nigeria to the United States, I've come to realize that it applies to meats, vegetables, whatever, anything that we eat, and also the process of preparing that thing. And another thing, and I think there's a psychological aspect to taste the taste of food, especially, and also a spiritual aspect to it, not in terms of, I mean, we can go into the woo-woo aspect, but I'm not talking in terms of that, but more like the energy of the person that cooked it, right? Because sometimes somebody's food can remind me of my mother's food, but it doesn't taste the same way. Sometimes the same recipe, you can follow that same recipe and cook food, right? Cook everything, marinate it for how you usually marinate it, and it will taste different than when everybody put hand together. One person is chopping the onions, the other person is chopping the pepper, the other person is grinding, the agusi or whatever. Like, even if you did everything according to that recipe, there's just something about having different people doing different things that influences the taste of that food. And then when you talk about meat, oh my God. Anytime I notice this during Thanksgiving or during Christmas, anytime I cook for myself, I've given up at this point, trying to make my turkey taste like Nigerian turkey, like the turkey I ate back home, because it is a real thing. Terror really impacts taste, because a chicken that fought off some snake in Arizona is not gonna taste like some chicken that survived Hamatan in Nigeria, or a turkey that survived Hamatan in Nigeria. It's not gonna taste the same. So I've given up. I used to wonder, why is my food tasting this way? Why is it? I've given up. Now I've gotten better at sourcing ingredients and preparing food better. My food doesn't really taste how it tasted in college when I was fresh from Nigeria to school, right? But there are just some things that just makes you go, terror really impacts taste. And there's really a psychological aspect to how we taste food, whether it's prepared in community or we prepare it by ourselves. Even the state, like our emotional state when we're preparing that food or eating it, whether it's, if we were lonely or if we were happy or something. Like, I am beginning to believe that greatly impacts the taste of food. Whether some people notice it and are highly sensitive to it, other people don't. And that actually leads me to wrapping up this section called This Week at the Curvy Cauldron. And I'm going to tell you a poem of mine that had something to do with taste and terror. Hang on. We shall wrap up with that. So, the poem is called Place Setting for One, and it is on page 48 of the paperback of Tasteful Hypocrisy. And I'm not going to read the whole poem, because if I read all the poems, why would you buy the book, right? But I'm going to read the last segment of it. So the last stanza really is, well, it didn't taste quite like mom's. It tasted like distance and lacked the verve of multiple hands. The turkey did not know the haste of a Christmas morning, nor did it withstand the heat and chill of Hamatan. It was oven roasted, not boiled, and deep fried and stewed. Should I have made green bean casserole, stuffing, and potatoes? Would that have kept the emptiness at bay, even though we talked many times yesterday? Okay, and that is place setting for one. In starting on page 48 of my new book, Tasteful Hypocrisy, and I just read you guys the last stanza. And another thing that this reminds me of is when it comes to chicken wings, the chicken wings they sell, I don't like, what people call juicy chicken. Oh, it's very tender and juicy. No, I like very dry chicken because of this very reason. Like I like, they call it ano poro at home. I like very dry chicken, and not the dry per se, but chicken that has been dry, like dried, and then you put it in stew or in sauce to introduce some moisture back into it. There's just that sweet medium between dry and juicy. I don't like all the way juicy chicken. Something about it feels very undone to me. Undone to me. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of This Week at the Curvy Cauldron. I enjoyed making this, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it as well. Mwah, mwah, mwah.